Welcome back, everybody. Susan in top form today. I hope you're in top form today. Welcome back to the Canyon. We have another installment of a not It Came From the Workbench, but of a guy who we're just trying to get to work. You need to get to work. He participated in a recent Wheel on Wednesday. He was in the Friday live stream. It is he, none other than Lord Pentabee. First of his name, the 5Bs, Baseline's baby brother, the Blanco Bronco. He's 5Bs. He's the Pentabee. And we made discoveries, what could only be classified as discoveries, with that. Yes, we understood that the Enduro SE, the plastic-linked Enduro SE, was a cost-cutting measure, an economical model. And it works great when you leave it alone, but when you have to change the wheelbase to fit the hard body Bronco that you've chosen, you have to change so many things. Like, this rig was built to be servo and axle, and it comes fitted with this, which I did not realize at first, that this piece is different than the piece that's installed there right now. Because if you go to convert it to chassis mounted steering, the servo is too high and it messes up all the front link geometry. They have this clearance here because they want to keep the front braced, but the servo is on the axle, so they don't want it to hit, right? Also, if you go to the optional shock tower that has this for a panhard mount, a servo with any amount of torque beyond the maybe 200 ounces provided by our RD 1523 just pushes the thing out of the way. So it steers significantly sharper to one side than the other. So you have to take that off, and you have to take that off, and you replace it with the parts bin, the deep parts bin you have of element parts. And you go to the Ecto Gatekeeper Builder's Kit panhard mount. No problem. You switch to the servo mount from anything other than an SE. Everything just swaps right over. And for those who are present on the live stream, you will now notice that the parallelism of the Draglink and the Panhard are even closer than they were before. They are perfectly parallel this way. And now, look at this. Look where the tire comes relative to the fender, and look where the tire comes relative to the fender. We have full travel, both sides. It feels very uniform. There's no bump steer, no axle swing, and all that was required was I flipped this down to the bottom and then mounted the servo on the new mount, moved the panhard up one hole on the panhard mount, did not have to adjust the lengths. The lengths just happened to come out well. Here's the thing. Did not have to adjust the lengths is that's an optimistic statement. I didn't adjust the lengths of the links. I just mounted everything up and put it back together. It hasn't even had power put to it. But I didn't disconnect the servo horn, so we should still theoretically be at least close to centered. Close enough to centered that I can deal with whatever problems might arise. I can deal with it with subtrim. And I think I put the bumper back on correctly. We'll find out soon enough. I'm still doing it as lazy as possible, where we're just using a screw. Well, I mean, is that lazy? Would it not be arguably less lazy? There's not enough. Like, RC four-wheel drive bodies can do the set screws, the long set screws, because they have so much pinch to the body. That's all that holds on a Scottsdale, a Marlin, anything like that. You can see how much I can tighten it down, and that holds it. We can't shuck the body. And I was just going to go to 4 screws and just deal with putting the 4 screws on prior to testing. And then it occurred to me, what lines up the body? Otherwise, then we're hunting for the hole. So we've gone 2 and 2, and I think it's the way to go. It's going to be at least the way that we move forward. We are on baseline. We go to there, and then we turn this on. If I can reach it now. That's a little far forward. That's a little far forward. Okay, that steering is not centered at all. But that is easy to correct. I will take care of that. I'll meet you outside. Okay. I'm hoping for this one to be expeditious because there are at least 3. And if I think about it a little longer, 4 419 and or 3.93 tires that need to be tested either for quick views or for redux testing. And this is the guy that's in charge of it. So we need to get him in tip-top fighting form. He in the live stream, we installed all the Triol front-end brass. He's not been driven with the brass. Yeah, that is not centered at all. I will take care of that. We'll go out and hopefully we'll give him a basic run-through. Well, I just want to see how the steering looks, how the suspension feels. Do we need to make any major changes to springing or other geometry changes? And then we can start throwing some different tires on him, and there's a bunch of them hauntingly right in front of me on the bench. And then we can get back to business as usual, where he tests things and other guys test things. We have a backlog of content to be made, not that is recorded. There is nothing recorded as of the moments that I'm standing here filming this. So let's get this underway. Lord Pentabee himself. Let's see if we've... It's got to be better, right? If we have any hopes, it's that it's at least better. So this is a little bit of a re-shakedown where we keep making a canyon change atop another canyon change. He had only previously had one run on this wheel tire combo. And then we were like, you know what, let's change everything. But they were what I would classify as necessary changes because the steering was not okay. The suspension, for some reason, there had to have been binding. Something was binding in the front. The link placements could not have been right because it feels very different now. And we will do dumb stuff as much as possible because this is how you find out. It's like a whether he's a willing participant or not, this is an unofficial agility test. I'm just going for the shuttle here. Whoop. That was a little much. I also have to do things like learn how to catch him. Oh, I just realized there's a giant hose. Oh! I want it. Yes. So I'm feeling the front weight, but I don't know how much I'm feeling the front weight because I just know that the Draglink and Panhard geometry are significantly better now. What I should have done, and I say this halfway through we're going to have two competing thoughts. Oh, the camera's doing the thing again. Yeah, it's supposed to be right there. Don't take your fluid head tripod out when it's cold. It's like 44 degrees. But I'm still hot on the inside. I did a thing yesterday that I don't do, which is get under a car. And I took it one step further than jangling my hand. Anyone who's ever done this will be able to relate on a personal level. I put the impact on a bolt, and I didn't look at what direction the direction trigger was going, and I pulled the trigger, and it was on tighten, and the bolt was already tight. So I got dead or alive by the old Ingersoll Rand, and it spun me right round, baby, right round. But it just kind of rotated my hand around my wrist against my own will. So I've got a kind of a puffy, stiff right wrist. I've been here before. It's not the first time I've done this. It won't be the last. But I've gotten comfortable / complacent working on tiny toy cars and with far less torquey tools. That's what I want to see. That's a baseline level of turn-in. The suspension on this guy looks and feels great, which is kind of crazy when you make no changes to that geometry. You make no efforts to reduce weight and instead add about 10 ounces of unsprung weight, at least 10 ounces of unsprung weight. Probably closer to 3/4 of a pound, and the suspension feels better. So perhaps, just throwing it out there, the SE in stock configuration might be slightly oversprung. Just slightly. Oh yeah, he's feeling a little bit more baseline every time we drive him. Let me tell you, that early morning sun is hot. And I don't mean hot in terms of heat. I mean, look at them rocks up at the top. White. We're getting some real differential in light. Oh, that was excellent, my buddy. Oh. Got some good axle slide there. Come on in. Come on in. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It is, okay. Let's put it down. It is feeling much closer to the performance, like the tractional characteristics on this feel a lot closer now to the megalithics than it did before we made the most recent series of changes. Yeah, I knew you had it. For a test rig, honestly, self-writing, and this is one of the small problems that we have with Yella as a test platform, is that his ability to self-write, his ability to flip himself back over because of his body is not great. Anything slab-sided like this tends to be easier to flip over. I'm trying to get this rear tire over. There we go. Yeah, I am... there we go. Oh, yeah. There is an appreciable level of maneuverability here. I can move him around exactly how I want. Yeah, and plenty of drive out of the vintage tires. It's only appropriate. Vintage body, vintage tires. We head into a proper side hill. Again, those you want some highlights? Those are some highlights. It's very bright. Okay. Now this is indicative only of the insert. We remember we've got those Japanese milk bread memory foams, the ancient memory foams inside those non-XL flat irons. And I'm watching that driver rear just smear. Come on. Good. Okay. But what this also gives us the ability to do is look at the stability of how the platform is set up. Because if that rear tire is not going to help us, Yella's is going to be really tough, because I feel extraordinarily little. I'm self-writing. I'm out of frame. Hey, all right. There's a mental hurdle that must be overcome on self-writing hard-bodied vehicles. You have to you got to Elsa. You've got to full Elsa and let it go. I hot glued that interior in. I should have painted the inside of this thing black. I'm not going to let it bother me. I mean, how often is the sun going to be shining up through the inside of the roof to show that the roof is semi-transparent? I could just paint the outside of the roof. That's a good point you've just made. Oh, big side hills are going to be a challenge on this. Or are they? I think that just the Flatiron XL, the non-XL Flatiron, what we've got here, did really well on baseline. We tested it on baseline. Yeah. Between almost pound and a half lighter than this. So I think this foam, it can't withstand it. But it's not something that we're going to rush out to address, because these are his, air quotes, everydays. These are the tires. This is the wheel tire combo that keeps him off the ground. It gives him something to sit on. He's a test guy. So he's going to spend very little wheeling time on these wheels and tires. Baseline has cut canyon trails on the exact same set of wheels and probably drives 5% of the time on that wheel tire combo. Usually only when he's testing something other than tires, and you know, we test tires more than anything else. And these are doing well, but not amazingly great. And I think it's all insert. It's all insert. Little self right there. Tires are a little side loaded now. We had a nice little whoop. Yeah. These feel, I mean, I'm okay. Here's the thing. I'm beyond okay with these because they don't leave me wanting in terms of forward drive or maneuverability or anything like that. The wheel tire insert combo are not the absolute. If I'd wanted that, I could have just left megalithics on here, but it seemed wasteful. As I've said before, we don't put the absolute most capable set of tires on the most absolutely capable rig because it's going to make it a little bit better. If you have a rig that has holes in its performance profile, you can plug some of those holes with the tire. But if you have a rig that needs the tires, give it the tires. Oh, that was not. Yeah. Flatiron responds really quite well to a little bit more sauce. Yeah, what I hope you're noticing what I'm noticing. There's not a huge amount of body roll. The body roll is pretty well controlled. Go shuttle side. And that brass weight in the front may well just be enough because he's not lifting, and I guess we guessed, and we guessed correctly because the Panhard and Draglink they're doing the things. I'm more than happy enough to send this guy into work. He's going to fill out all of his forms and he's going to go to work. All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think the axles help. Very slidey. Oh, that's pretty good. How you know you're doing all right and okay and okay and all right? Gotta get that rear off there. Pull it around. Pull it around. Is you don't so much notice that you're rocking a hulky body. 1 pound 2, but I put the interior in it. Haven't weighed it since. Let's call it like 1 pound 5 for the body. Oh, you know? Starting to get used to it. I mean, it's definitely a more freeing experience than driving the Scottsdale, where every time it gets light in the front, when it does that, I go, there we go. Get that corner grab. Is the foam firm enough to help us? No, we got to reposition back a little bit, right? Just can't. So what we're relying on is passenger front having enough rigidity to hook and pull us over. But if we can't get to that line there, okay, now I think it's rear bumper. There is a very narrow slot for him to make this. If there's a slot at all, we're gonna. These are things that have to be taken into consideration. This is the prequel because this is an element of the tire test protocol, and there may just be the distinct possibility that this configuration cannot easily do it. I'm seeing, okay, I'm imagining future outcomes here. So, yeah, he comes through there so clean. What if we hug real tight right here? Oh, that's rear bumper. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Oh, that, you know, okay, class 1 guys, don't, just calm, just remain calm. There is something intensely satisfying about about pulling over that line that you're like, I don't know, is this possible? Is he going to be able to do this? Yeah, way too wide. Okay, come back around. Honestly, the times where I'm anticipating, oh, that front is not helping me. Okay, take some steer out, then put it back in. Okay, now we're going to have to correct. There is an intense satisfaction in making that line you think you can't make. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go on record. The flat iron, non-XL, I don't think there's anything wrong with the tire. I think the insert, the ancient insert, is just flat out too soft for this rig. So we're getting a ton of drive. So the goal would be, and again, I'm always thinking this way, how can we make this a little better? How can we make that a little better? It doesn't matter. These are his drive to work shoes. So they are absolutely fine. We can accommodate for any of the weaknesses brought about by that insert, and honestly, we'd probably be sacrificing some of the forward drive, and he's exhibiting quite a lot of forward drive. Oh, but a firmer insert, his steering response would be better. It doesn't matter. We have to say it with me. It doesn't matter. These are doing, for the day-to-days on a test rig, these tires are doing too well. All right, I just want to see hard side and soft side at Daphne's other, and we'll get to real work. Ooh, that's some overdrive. Okay, nobody can pull that, dude. Nobody. So you're gonna have to reset and come back around. See how narrow your approach window is to get up here. Okay, maybe I was too far right. Okay, I want to stay here. You want to catch that top lip without skating over it, without doing exactly that. So again, this may turn out to be one of those instances where if the tire can make this, then we know the tire is doing well. Yeah, just a push shuttle. Because we're talking, but look at that turn angle though. Soft side? Ooh, soft side's got near full shuttle, and we're gonna get that left-hand flop. Yep. That is, look at this. Try to replicate that. That uncontrolled left-hand, right-hand flop is very similar to what you'll see out of an untuned Phoenix. If you take an out-of-the-box Phoenix and you hit Daphne's here at dead limit, pretty much the same thing. Oh, man, that was a washout. He's got a lot of stability, and he's got an excellent ability to recover. And I want watchers of the things. What? Oh, man. Oh, not again. His catchability is definitely up there with his brother. Is up there with baseline. I don't think that this wheel tire combo, I think the insert is just too soft. So when we're trying to use that side lug to pull over, there's that little, someone was kind enough to send me in a laser. I need to keep that laser in my pocket because I want to point to that right there, that little spot right there. We need to get the inside edge of driver front right there and then cut it back oh, you can do it. So he can do it, but man, it is precise. And honestly, perhaps this is better for what we're doing, for testing tires, because if a tire is better at it or worser at it, this is a great indicator of the overall performance of the tire. Ooh. At some point during one of the testing or the Redux quick views, we will figure out where the acceptable line, and it is a tightrope to find that line for the soft side. It's really fine. So I'm going to go so far as to say Lord Pentabee, first of his name, Canyon certified to start testing some tires. No more faffing about, sir. You've got to get to work. And soon your body will look as bad or worse than your brother's. And you will be a regular feature here on the channel so long as we're testing tires under, what did I say? 445? 445 and up we go on baseline. So like 435s, class 1s, 393s, 385s if we have to. That is Lord Pentabee's domain. He's the small tire guy. And I hope you come back to the canyon to see how those results shake out. He's got some coming up immediately. There will be a battery swap in him and all of the camera equipment, and he's going to come straight back out here and start his job. First job coming up. So, I hope you turn in for that. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us for this installment. As I mentioned, I look forward to seeing you again in the future. And in between now and again, I would at least hope that you would one and all do your very best to have a good one, everybody. We will see you again next time here from the canyon. Lord Pentabee, show that tight turning circle, and away he goes.